Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who's joining us today for the session. We are just going to give it 1 minute to allow everybody to join, and then we're going to begin today's first session. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much, everybody who's joining us live today. And a big thank you to everyone who's watching this back afterwards on video, on Facebook, or on our Development Studies Week website. My name is James Winners. I am in the international office, and I work with my colleague Takato, who is based out in Japan.
Hello, my name is Saxo. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me because I can answer your question in Japanese. So nice to meet you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Takato. And I work with Takato. I'm based for Asia Pacific. So if there's any students from any countries such as Japan, Korea, Indonesia, Thailand, anywhere in that region, I can help you out. Equally, I can connect you with all of my brilliant colleagues who cover different regions as well. So if you do have any unique questions for your country, please pop those into the chat box today, and we will be happy to help you out. Today is day 4 of Development Studies Week, which focuses on the Institute of Development Studies, IDS, which is based at the University of Sussex campus. And we have 3 sessions for today. The first one is going to focus on our graduates, our alumni, and we've got some really excellent alumni who'll be talking about their experience, some of their tips as well, from various different countries. And then later on today, we've got a sample lecture, and we also have a current student webinar in a similar format to this morning as well. So hopefully you can join us live, but if not, those are going to be recorded and hosted on the Development Studies Week website as well. It would be also fantastic if we could get an idea about those of you who are joining live. So if you are joining live today, please could you write into the chat box your name and which country you're calling in from. And it would be great to see where you are. And if there's any particular IDS course that you're interested in, you might want to include that as well. So today's session is going to look like the following. So you can see today's session, we're going to have a overview of the alumni services from Mariam, who's kindly joining us from IDS today. And then we have 4 excellent former IDS students, all from different countries, talking about their experience at IDS and what they are doing now as well. And then we're going to have a Q&A session, so hopefully about 15 minutes that you can interact with everyone today. But if you do have questions, you can write those into either the Q&A box or you can write it into the chat box. And we'll try and answer some of those as we go along, if we can, in the chat box. And if not, we'll leave that to the final quarter of the session as well. Also, just a reminder as well, we have these sessions later on. So the sample lecture is 1 p.m. UK time, and then 2 p.m. we have the overview with a number of different current students from around the world as well. And you can see all of those recordings on the Development Studies Week website, which is listed here as well. So I'm going to stop sharing there. And then I think, yes, I'm going to hand over to Mariam for her introduction session on alumni in IDS. Thank you, Mariam.
Thank you, James, for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation. I'm really excited to be part of Development Studies Week. So I'll take very little time, few minutes, just to give you a snapshot about IDS Alumni Office, our community, and also the type of support that we provide to our students and to our alumni. I'll share my screen now. Should be coming. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it. Thanks, Mariam.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So my name is Mariam Zabakhidze. I'm an Alumni Relations and Development Manager at IDS. And as I said, I'll have a very brief presentation to give you a snapshot about our office, alumni network, and what we do while you're at IDS and what type of support we provide after you graduate. So in a very short way to present IDS, and our courses on development studies. So at the moment, we have around 4,000 plus alumni across different geographies in 150 countries, and we're very proud to have a diverse group with us. And IDS, together with University of Sussex, is #1 in development studies according to QS ranking, and we're very proud of that. But if I may take you a bit back, IDS started its teaching around 60 years ago when it was first established. In the beginning, we only had PhD program, then it gradually went to MPhil, and now we have 8 different MA courses that we offer to students together with the University of Sussex and a PhD program. And every year we have around 250 students. And in addition to our MA courses, we also provide and offer short-term professional development courses. You can find information about them on our website as well. And if you're interested in any of them, feel free to reach out. But I will also say that our one of the longest running MAs is on gender and development, and I've checked and it's 35 years old. So you might be doing MA gender and the course itself might be older than you are. So I just wanted to share that fact with you as well. When I wanted to look at the alumni community and maybe pick some details, I thought it would be good to share some of the areas you might end up working if you come to study with us. So I've listed a few workplaces that where our alumni work after they graduate, but of course this is not an exhaustive list. Today we'll be joined by some of our alumni after my presentation, so they can speak more about their career development after IDS, but I thought that I'd present a bit of information as well. And as you can see, most of our students end up working for international organizations, and they take a variety of positions in project management to more technical side of work as well. So to share a few notable alumni, again, this is not a full list, and we're very proud of all of our alumni who go back to the world and do some incredible things, whether in their professional career or volunteering. But I wanted to share a few names of our distinguished alumni. The first woman you see on the list, she's a very well-established feminist and activist whose work has been focused on work on gender and human rights, but she was also first female candidate for presidency in Gambia. We also have Joanna Kerr, who studied in IDS in the 90s, and after that she worked in different organizations in the leading positions in ActionAid International and Greenpeace. And we also are very proud that the 48th president of Costa Rica, Carlos Alvarado Quesada, studied at IDS and then went back to Costa Rica, and he focused on decarbonization of economy. So there are more names here. I will not go into detail, but IDS is a great place not only to get education, but also to get connected with extraordinary people for all around the world. So with this list, I just wanted to demonstrate the depth of our network. And finally, I'll focus a bit about Alumni Office, what we offer whilst you're at IDS, and then after you graduate, and this process of transitioning from being a student from alumni. So a typical year at IDS will start with Life at IDS event. This is a essentially knowledge sharing session that we organize for incoming cohort, where we also invite a cohort that just graduated to share their learnings, not only about how to deal with term papers or dissertation, but also where are the best student deals or where are the best pubs for students to go. So essentially how to enjoy both academic and non-academic life while being at IDS, at Sussex and in Brighton. So that's also a great event to get connected with your community. Apart from that, throughout the year, we offer different career sessions, and this will be done together with the University of Sussex, as they have a career hub and can provide advice on a variety of questions. But we also try to have events that can support you in career development. For example, last year we hosted the UN Careers event, where we tried to navigate the complex UN recruiting landscape, different abbreviations, how to best present yourself. So all of those events and activities are open for our current students, but also for our alumni. And apart from those events, we also have mentoring programs. There are two programs, group mentoring and matched mentoring. So group mentoring is mostly focused on current students, and we would announce the registration in January. And this is a 6 months long program. We have 10 to 15 students who participate in this group mentoring sessions, but we also have matched mentoring, which is more one-on-one sessions. And this is open for our current students, but also for our alumni. And you can register as mentee or mentor, and we do provide resources to train you and equip you to be part of this program. And lastly, we have Ask an Alum service, which is essentially like a search engine, but to a real person. So for example, if you are a student and you're thinking perhaps going into PhD after your master's and you're not sure, you can reach out to someone who had the similar career trajectory and ask for an advice. Yes, lastly, we also want to encourage our students and alumni who would like to publish and who would like to be recognized for this. So we have paid blog post opportunities. If you are focusing on some area you feel passionate about, you're free to share your blog post with us. I'll stop here because I know that we have a brilliant alumni joining us, and I think it will be way better to hear from them about their experience whilst at IDS and also how life continued after they graduated. But yeah, I'll be here throughout the entire session. If you have any questions, feel free to pop that in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Jace.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Mariam. That's a really excellent overview, I think, of all of our alumni from IDS and also all the great services you offer the current students as well. If you wouldn't mind as well, if you wouldn't mind putting your email address into the chat box as well, that'd be fantastic. So anyone afterwards will be able to get in touch if they've got questions they prefer to ask privately. And as mentioned by Mariam, and we will have a Q&A session at the end as well, so you can direct anything live as well. But without further ado, we'll move over to our special guest stars, the alumni, the former IDS students as well today. And a big thank you to everyone who's joining us from around the world today. I know we have various different time zones, and Teofilo, I think it is quite early for you in Argentina, I believe.
Hello, James. Hello, Mariam. Thank you for the invitation. Yes, I'm actually based in Spain, so
Hey.
I'm a bit ahead in time than you guys in the
Oh,
UK.
I'm really glad that we haven't got you up too early then in Argentina behind her.
No, no, don't
Oh,
worry,
well,
don't worry.
thank you very much for joining us. I'll hand over to yourself, and if you'd like to go through your session, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the invitation. Well, my name is Teófilo Moreno. I'm from Argentina, but I'm currently based in Spain. So I work at the Global Reporting Initiative, an international NGO that works to promote sustainability disclosures for organizations. I attended an MA in Governance Development and Public Policy in 2022, 2023. It was an amazing experience, life-changing experience. Well, basically, I chose IDS because it's the number one institution in the world for development studies. So, as someone that was working in the government in Buenos Aires in Argentina back then in the field of social development. I wanted to study with the people that know the best how to work with development, how to help implement and design policies for the global south in countries such as Argentina, and to go and have the opportunity to study and research with fellow colleagues from around the world that also work in development and are interested in the same subjects that I'm interested in. So, well, those were the two main reasons, and also because I saw the campus, I saw what Brighton was about, the excellent facilities that IDS has, and having the opportunity to study somewhere where you can go and hike in the woods in between classes was something that I really, really enjoyed. That is something that IDS has and the University of Sussex has that maybe other universities don't, and it's something that I really appreciated. Well, and in my time in IDS, I think that my favorite thing about the institute and the university was how approachable the staff was. So you were just hanging around the university, the institute, reading some papers, and you saw the people doing research, your professors just walking around the institute. You could knock them in their offices, and they always were super open to receiving you, discussing things that were discussed previously in the classes, or helping you with papers, or with adapting to life in Brighton. So that's one of the things that I enjoyed the most. And the other one was the international scene that goes around the university. I've learned a lot as someone that was raised in Latin America. I really didn't know much about South Asia or countries in Africa, and having that vibe going on inside the institute while learning and debating about the issues our countries have uh, provided me with a global scope of what's going on, and finding that countries face the similar issues and learning from how they deal with those was something I really enjoyed, and was very important in my professional development and in my personal development too. Well, I finished my master's in September 2023, and since then I moved again from the UK to Spain, and I started working for GRI. And one of the things that I appreciated most about my course and the way IDS prepares you for the professional development is first uh, how, as I was job hunting, I could feel and I could see how important and how much the IDS and the University of Sussex brand weights in the labor market. So people knew that as I had studied there, there was a guarantee of quality, of what I've learned, of capacity, of the different critical thinking initiatives that the university and the institute have. So that was something that I could see, and it actually helps my work right now. As I was thinking about what I've learned in IDS, and one of the most important things was to unlearn what I had learned before, to rethink how I thought about the world, about social issues, about environmental issues. So IDS provided me of a platform or a space where to think how I think. Basically, I had to unlearn a lot of things that I came to the institute with, and well, it provided me a lot of content, space for debate, and understand the world better, I think. Maybe the institute didn't provide me with a lot of answers to the issues that the world has, but it surely provided me with a platform to ask the right questions. So yeah, those were a lot of some of the highlights of my learning journey at IDS that currently helps me in my work. And I think that understanding better how public organizations work, how the international NGOs work, and other stakeholders is fundamental now when implementing projects which is what I do in my day-to-day work. That is something that I learned better at the institute and helps me every day. And also, IDS has a strong monitoring, evaluation, and learning culture, which is something that I do and what I try to push inside my organization now. And that is something that IDS provided me with too, which is understand what is the impact of what we do. And I think that for the NGO sector, for civil society sector, this is very important to showcase and to understand what is the impact of of our actions, of our initiatives as organizations. And that is something I was hammered with in IDS during my whole learning journey, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, in my case, it was an amazing year. I really, when I think about IDS, it's something that I feel like warm in my heart. It was a great year. So I really encourage you to go there and yeah, and learn to unlearn as I did.
Fantastic. Thank you, Teofilo. That's an excellent overview, I think, of your experience, including I like the feature on the hiking and the environment as well. Just to say, it's probably some of the best food and some of the best coffee on campus as well, I think. So but yeah, it sounds like you got some excellent learnings there and carried those through into your really successful sort of career based in Spain now as well. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing that lovely experience. If anyone has any questions for Teofilo as well, just a reminder, if you write those into the chat box as well, and we can come to those during the last quarter of the session. We're going to move over now to Faith, please, now. And I think Faith is in Nigeria today. Thanks, Faith. I think we can see you there. I think you're on mute at the moment though, so there we go. Perfect.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. Nice to be a part of this program. I've always loved to contribute to the IDS, and I'm glad that one more time I was reached out to contribute to this program. So speaking about myself, I'll start with a brief introduction of myself. Everybody, good morning. My name is Faith Chiazo, and I'm part of the 2023-2024 cohort of the Gender and Development, and I was selected as the class rep during my time. I am a Commonwealth Scholarship awardee, and that means my education was made possible by the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, and the Institute of Development Studies partly funded my education, which I am still very much grateful for. Thank you. So thank you for bringing me closer to my goals, and this is me expressing my gratitude one more time. What am I doing currently? Currently, I am leading the YAN project for Amnesty International in Nigeria, which I have been leading since 2020. This will be like 5 to 6 years now. I was leading the project before I came on, and then I returned to leading my project. So this project is about advocating for freedom of expression in Nigeria because of the anti-free speech bill that was proposed by the National Assembly, and I am also focused on promoting increased young women's participation in activism. Aside that, I am presently focused on my social work related research because my interest cuts across social policy, trying to advocate for better policies for marginalized and low income women in Nigeria. I am very much interested in women in politics, and that was what my master's dissertation at the University of Success covered. And yes, I am also very interested in intimate partner violence prevention, intervention, and support. So that's about me. Going on, I will talk about my how the IDS, how my experience at the IDS was and how it prepared me for my current life. So I would say that studying at the IDS was really transformative for me. I got to learn about feminist approach and perspective, which is really what I wanted to learn. on a using a global perspective to understand certain critical contexts, and helped me to think deeply on my own and to continue to challenge existing knowledge and practice. Existing knowledge and continue to challenge existing knowledge and practice to prefer more inclusive policies and stuff like that. So the IDS has been instrumental in equipping me with analytical skills and debates, teaching me the current debates and contemporary issues, so I could know how to come in and how to apply them to the work that I do, because the work I do cuts across many countries, which is the Amnesty International Project Young. So that is it. And at the ideas, I learned how to do impact evaluation for large projects and risk assessment, which is something I really needed to incorporate into my work. And it has helped me also to make my my research more broader, because I did my research with Dr. Linda Waldman. It was very intensive. I got a distinction in my research, and that meant a lot to me, because it wasn't funny. It was kind of rigorous, which is why I continue to understand why the Institute of Development Studies is ranked first in development studies in the world, because it is quite rigorous. But then again, I would say it is fun and it is worth it. And that's why I choose the Institute of Development Studies, because it ranks first in the world. It is one thing to rank first in the world for like 5 consecutive years, as at 2023 when I joined, but then it is another thing to constantly retain that position over the years. It shows that the IDS is good at what they do, and it shows that coming to the IDS as a student, you are just about to get the best. But the IDS has also provided me with a network of collaborators. I am still in contact with my classmates and with my teachers from back at the IDS, talking them, still getting support even as an alumni. Seeking their support in my research work, because I am still undergoing social research, So my time at the IDS was quite interesting and engaging. I served as the counselor representing the Institute of Development Studies at the Student Union Council of the University of Sussex. I served along with Chandni Sai Ganesh. We had 2 reps, 2 people, 2 students representing the Institute of Development Studies. So this gave me the opportunity to learn more, because I am fundamentally interested in women in politics, but that was an amazing opportunity for me to train and learn in the job, to learn how to analyze policies, to learn how to contribute to policies, to contribute to debates, and work directly both with student community and the teachers, which was quite fantastic. And it gave me hands-on knowledge for what I plan to do in the future, because my big target is to become a member of the parliament over here in Nigeria. So that's like, that opportunity helped me build my profile, got to contest in an election and build my profile. So I am happy that we got the opportunity to not just study academically, but to build ourselves practically over at the IDS and at the University of Sussex by extension. So my master's degree has really helped my life currently, because the things that I have learned, like impact evaluation for large projects. I know I could do monitoring and evaluation for smaller projects, but I learned how to do impact evaluation for large projects. For example, I know that during my class practice, I had to evaluate a World Bank project for South Africa, for a project in South Africa, which was really a large project, and like, it was not a Nigerian project. So I had to learn how to think in the context of another country, which is why I was at the IDES, because it is a global community, and helped me think beyond the small coterie of just my nation and my comfort zone. So that has broadened my perspective. It doesn't matter on what context I am working, I am able to deliver the result. So it has improved my sellability when I reach out to collaborators on my research, and I tell them I am from the IDS. It improves my sellability, because I am able to do the skills that I list in my CV that I am able to do. So it has improved my sellability in the job market, and it is it has added value to me. So IDS really added value to me. And at this point, trying to respect our time. I would say that one of my favorite things in the IDS used to be the fact that they cared about our social life as well, not just our academics. They used to organize the pantomime show. I remember that as a Nigerian in the UK, and my first time in the, I just see that smile. I think you have come to the pantomime. So I know that as a Nigerian in the UK, my first time in the UK, I really didn't have family around the UK, so and I couldn't go for Christmas holidays. But during that period, they organized the pantomime show, they organized the Christmas market, so it helped me. I didn't miss family, I didn't miss anything because I had the global became my home. I was very comfortable all through the period, and I am a first generation learner. The idea started the first generation group headed by Dr. Linda Waldman, and it helped me to connect with people that had similar stories, similar experience, and to share that bond with them. And I never felt alone, and I learned from their experiences on how they were able to, go through to navigate life issues, academic, and the way forward. And I also love the fact that the IDS themselves organize like picnics both within the campus and outside the campus to keep us going. It was interesting for me. And then I love the after school seminars, after lecture seminars, where our conveners gave us the opportunity to lead the conversation. During class, the conveners lead the conversation, and then we follow up, we ask questions. But during the after lecture seminars, we lead the conversation. We contribute to knowledge, and they give us more time. They listen to us, and then they try to understand the direction where we think and try to help redirect us, not to think for us, but to show us a direction that we could possibly be missing out, so we could think in that direction. It helped us broaden our horizon. So it helps me to see the things that I ordinarily did not see. So I thank the IDS for training my mind. And I'm saying to everyone listening, if you're coming to the IDS, you're in for the best. You're going to get your mind trained. You're going to get your thinking skills critically sharpened, and you're going to get the best out of education here at IDS and the University of Success. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Faith. That was a really great overview, I think, of your time, all of the skills you've sort of picked up or strengthened by doing this sort of post-experience qualification, and also picking up on all that pastoral support and the things outside of the classroom and the extra support. So thank you so much for sharing your time, and thank you for sharing about your project, which sounds like some really valuable work for Amnesty International there in Nigeria as well. So just another reminder as well, if anyone has any questions, put those into the Q&A box or the chat box, and we'll come to those towards the end of the session as well. We are going to move over to Anissa now, and I think you are based in Indonesia, if I'm correct.
Correct. I'm based in Indonesia now. It's actually evening here in Indonesia, 6 hours difference time from the UK. So I
Oh,
guess
well, good evening to you in Indonesia, Anissa, and thanks for joining us after
thank you.
Purdue
Thank
work
you.
as well. And thank you for I'll let you get on with your session. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thanks to IDS team and University of Sussex for inviting me to share my experience today. It's an honor to return to these institutions, which played such a pivotal role for me now in my professional and academic growth. So my name is Anissa Amalia Soekarno. I graduated from MA Development Studies at IDS last year. And currently, I work with Indonesian government, specifically in coordinating Ministry for Infrastructure and Regional Development as a policy analyst. And at first, choosing IDS was a deliberate decision. As a professional in the public sector, I wanted a program that combined academic rigor as well as practical with real-world relevance, and IDS reputations as the world top-ranked development studies institution has really spoke for itself. And beyond ranking, IDS emphasis on bridging theory and practice has resonated for me. For example, its partnership with a lot of reputable institutions has really brought me into IDS. And of course, for someone who's always dreamed of studying in European continent, IDS was the perfect fit, a globally diverse community nested in a vibrant academic environment of Sussex. It wasn't just about earning a degree, it was about joining a bigger global community for me. And two things that stood out during my time in IDS is first the curriculum and the courses, and of course the people. First, the courses. As a government official, I think my work does not directly tie to all of MA Development Studies module, but IDS's flexibility allowed me to tailor my learning. For instance, I took courses on economic development that has sharpened my ability to analyze policies through socioeconomic lens, a skill that I now use daily as a policy analyst. And even seemingly unrelated topic with my previous colleague from gender studies has expanded my perspective on how interconnected development issues are. But the true highlight was the IDS community, where all of my friends come from different part of the world. My cohort included NGO leaders, professionals from international organizations, and grassroots activists from over 30 countries. And conversations could jump from like Kenya's healthcare issues, political issues in India, and it's really diverse topics that we can talk about. And because many of my peers work in development sectors, and I get to like get more understanding on how the development world works, something I wouldn't have learned in classroom alone. And of course, like Mariam already explained before, I happened to join one of IDS most interesting courses, which is mentoring sessions. I think it's not only academic activities in classes. The mentoring sessions has helped me so much in my current role. In the sessions, we share a lot of our professional experiences during all the participants and really learn a lot from each other. I was a very shy person back then, but my colleagues not only so understanding, but they also very encouraging for me to be able to speak in public. I think that program is very, very useful for young professionals seeking to broaden their interpersonal skills. And I think after I graduated last year in September 2024, I returned to Indonesia and resumed my role as a policy analyst, as a government official. However, I now move into new department, but again, it's challenging to move in new department, but this shift has tested my ability, but IDS has prepared me to do so. For instance, group projects like already mentioned by Faith, we have like seminars after class has already mirrored the cross-ministerial coordination that I do now. Even like the simple habit of synthesizing complex ideas into policy brief, which is a step of things I do, and IDS, even until now as a policy analyst, it's become invaluable. And then the direct link between academia and my job isn't always obvious because government world is not always automatically translate with courses I had in IDS, but IDS hidden curriculum was transformative. Three takeaways that really stand out for me is how they teach us critical thinking. IDS is really trains us to question assumptions, like Theo already mentioned, how we can ask better questions into everything, into development issues. And when drafting infrastructure policies, I now probe like, okay, who benefits, who has the agenda, what are unintended consequences, all of the layering aspects is helping for me to do critical thinking based on what IDS has taught us. And then the second is interdisciplinary lens. Development isn't like always siloed. It's a transport project isn't always about roads, but it's about bigger things with socio-economic aspect. And the third, what I learned is also through the mentoring session is negotiation skills. group work at IDS was a masterclass in navigating different cultural and professional from around the world. And now today, reconciling competing priorities between ministries. What I do now feels familiar because I already practice in IDS in Brighton. So yeah, although not all of the courses really applicable to my daily work now, but I think there are lots of other skills that really help me to navigate to my current role now. So IDS didn't just teach me development studies, it taught me how to think about development in a bigger lens, I think. That's what I like most about my time in IDS.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Anasar. And another great example, I think, of the specific learnings that you picked up in terms of policy analysis from the course then and how you've applied that in your ministry career. So congratulations on that. And thanks again for the brilliant
Thank you.
overview there. Okay, so last but not least, we have Shritaja in New Delhi, please.
Right. Hi, everybody. Thank you, James. Thank you, IDS and Sussex, for inviting me as a panelist here and to learn and hear so much about alumni and their experiences. So hi, everybody who's joining in online. I'm Shrutaja. I'm based currently in New Delhi, India. Currently, I have an organization of my own called Kala or Vakalat, Arts and Advocacy, wherein we basically use creative practices for different purposes such as research, evaluation, advocacy, and community engagement. I pursued my master's in gender and development. I was the batch of 22-23, and I was also the recipient of India Sussex Scholarship. So why did I choose IDS? I think as my co-panelists have already sort of mentioned the fact that IDS is sort of a cultural hub. It is a mix of people from different backgrounds, different experiences, different age groups, different parts of the world. So it is a cultural hub. It is a mini world in its own self. And that was one of the reasons why I was really interested in coming to IDS. Apart from that, one of the basic parameters for me was the fact that I do not just want to enter into theoretical knowledge, just like my panelists said before me, but it was also about bridging the knowledge, practice, and methodology. And this was offered through the peers as well as the course conveners. I think the idea that the course conveners are active researchers sort of brings in a real life world example and case studies into the training and into the teaching that they're providing us within the classroom walls. So it's not just that you're discussing the papers and theoretical aspects, but you're also discussing real world examples within the walls. As Mariam, I think, mentioned earlier that gender and development, or as we call GAD, is one of the longest running courses at IDS. And because of that, it also has a very rich and strong alumni network. And I also know for a fact that if you reach out to anybody, even on LinkedIn, who's done gender and development, they'd be happy to get on a call and just chat with you about IDS. Apart from that, there are a variety of courses that are offered at IDS, and it was the tailor making of your own program and of your own learnings, which I will talk about briefly towards the end of my talk. About my time at IDS, I think outside the classroom is also when a lot of learning happened for me, from pantomime to IDS cafes and lunches and different celebrations that we had. I sort of got an insight into the traditions and cultures of different people, and also the similarity, really. At the end of the day, we're all humans. And in a world and time of today, I think we often forget that. But at IDS, what really transpired through these interactions was the fact that at the end of the day, everybody just wants to come on a table and discuss their views and share food, which was a strong part of my time at IDS. Moreover, Brighton as a city is a beautiful city, and I'm very grateful that University of Sussex and IDS is so close to Brighton. I was staying outside of the campus, and so I was also able to enjoy the life at Brighton. Moreover, my course of GAD was one of the biggest reflections and one of the biggest learnings I had at IDS. And one of the quotes that I generally said, and I tweaked the quote a little, and I said that every time, little do my GAD friends know that every time we hang out, they heal me. As a feminist in a world of today where there's so much of anti-feminist clashes that are happening, it's quite a bubble to get back into your own people and to find that community. So IDS and my time at IDS helped me find that community, and I'm really happy to let you also know that I'm still in touch with that community and I can back on them whenever I feel like, because that feminist bubble sort of remains, and that feminist bubble is a safe space. So my cohort at IDS, the GAD cohort, also provided me with that space. And how did IDS prepare me for my current role? So I think I would like to highlight 2 points around here. One is the point around connection, and the other one is about experimentation. When I say connection, I am specifically referring to the mentoring sessions. And one of my panelists had already mentioned about their experience of the mentoring session. I was a part of the mentoring session, which was one-on-one mentoring, which basically helps you in terms of at IDS, what they do is according to your needs and your experiences and your preferences, you're matched with a mentor. And so it is called the Match Mentoring Program at IDS. So I was selected for that. And I was able to get on a call with my mentor, and my mentor is based in Canada, and I've never met her. But I can tell you that I have found a great friend in her. And she's somebody who did GAD course eons ago. But it's the idea that both of us are able to learn from one another, which was quite interesting to see and to learn at IDS as well. So match mentoring was something of a huge offering, which helped IDS helped me in my current role in terms of bringing that connect and making that connect with different people from different walks of life, irrespective of your experience, of your age, of your gender, and your cultural background. The other thing, how IDS helped me in my current role of running an organization, um, is by providing a variety of courses. And I've talked about, and different people have talked about this, that IDS helps you tailor make your own program. And one of the programs that I did select at IDS was Creative and Reflective Practices for Social Change. Now, that course is very intensive and it's very reflective, as the name suggests. And it sort of made me get in touch with the idea of how arts can be used for social change. I have been a consultant, I am a consultant, and I've also been an artist in two different spheres of my life. But this course specifically helped me understand how I can bridge two roles in one. And this is precisely how and why my organization of Kala or Wakalat came into being. Because we use art-based methodologies for research, for evaluations. Research and evaluations being the main heads, as well as training and community engagement. And even research and evaluation are such different and diverse things. And you get to learn so much about just the idea of doing a research. Even though you've had experience before, the idea of collaborating with different people and doing that research and evaluation is extremely different and an experience that IDS only provides. So yes, it was during my time at IDS that my out of box thinking sort of ignited, and that pushed me to run my own organization today. So my time at IDS enabled me and provided me a space to ask questions, to learn, unlearn, reflect, and provide me a plethora of collaborators who are trying to do the best in the world that they can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shreya. That's really interesting. Sounds a great organization you're heading up as well. And great that you've, I think, all individually covered many of the different facets and the many different elements of IDS courses which appeal to our students and enable them to go on into such fantastic careers as well. So thank you all very much for your time and giving up that today to share with everybody. We've had a few questions already, which we'll come on to and answer publicly as well. But just a reminder that if any of you are joining us live and you'd like to ask any questions to any of our four panelists or to Mariam, based in IDS, please write that into either the chat box or the Q&A box, and I'll be able to read that out and we'll answer that as well. We're just going to backtrack, or I'm going to backtrack into the chat box as well to see what we've had. Firstly, just a comment on thank you all for introducing yourself in the chat box as well. For those of us, or those of you who aren't joining live, we've got about 40 people joining us live for the session today, and I can see people from India, Australia, Kenya, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Nigeria we have here as well, Zambia, China, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Bangladesh, so a real massive mix of different countries and sort of represents the diversity which we have in IDS and on those courses as well. So thank you all very much for joining us from all of your respective time zones as well. One of the questions we've had, and thank you, Mariam, for answering this in the chat box already, but this is from Shalwin. Thanks very much, Shalwin, for your question. You've put here a couple of questions and with regard to getting work and internships while studying at IDS. Does IDS provide internship opportunities and allow students to engage in part-time research work during the course? Mariam, can I come to you just to sort of repeat your answer there for the benefit of everyone else who's watching back later?
My answer. Thank you, everyone, for very heartfelt reflections. It's really sometimes a good check for us as well to see that we actually do our work, and this is why we do our work. So I'm really happy to hear your reflections. To go to the question, so we don't have internships or reoccurring jobs and internships that we offer, but there are plenty of opportunities for students to engage in either part-time research or some smaller projects, or even participate in events or supports to host an event. So there are different roles that students take. So for example, you can be a facilitator at an event. You can be a note taker if there's a conference or a specific project, let's say, and meeting happening. You can maybe work with one of IDS researchers on their research project, either doing some transcription or doing small jobs here and there. I know that this is not happening on regular basis, but I know even if it's ad hoc, every time, every cohort has such opportunities. But as our alumni were suggesting that at IDS, you kind of create your own path, depending how active you are, how engaged you are, whether you want to choose different courses, do some extracurriculars, do pantomime and all the other things. This also applies to internships or small research related work. So I think that students who wanted to get this experience and they were proactive, they did end up with getting something that they were happy with. I don't know if anyone on this call, if you guys had any examples while you were at IDS of engaging in any of those activities, but to name the few, as I said, last year we hosted a UN career event and we had a student rep facilitators. We also had a report writer for that event. So yeah, there are opportunities. So it's basically up to you to make sure that you're on top of things, and then once they present themselves, to go for them.
Perfect. Thanks, Mariam. And I think particularly with that as well, probably is our strength with location as well. So we've talked a lot about rankings as well, but I think something unique to IDS and Sussex, as I think many people have mentioned, is we're just outside of Brighton. It's got one of the highest concentrations of NGOs, grassroots organisations, I think, in the UK as well. So it's a perfect example of location meeting sort of course there. And there's lots of things that you can do outside of a course, even if internships aren't built within the course. There's things you can be doing, as Mariam mentioned there. And Faith, I think you wanted to add to that as well.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to add that aside the IDS making call for applications for some maybe temporal research roles, they could also let you know if any professor outside the IDS wants someone to work on something with them that connects with what the IDS is doing. We do get emails like that, and then we apply for them. The University of Sussex generally has the career hub that always puts out information about job roles related to research and beyond that. So if you follow the career hub at the University of Sussex, you would get that information. Aside that, the Students' Union always put out a call for people to work, sometimes just normal jobs and sometimes research related jobs, because I know that I had applied to 1 or 2 related jobs. And then, like you mentioned, the general community do have more opportunities for this. If you do well to attend the career day or the job fairs at the University of Success, they are organized often and on, so do not worry if you manage to meet one. You would meet so many NGOs bidding for people to join them, and many of those roles cut across research, like the BAME Society has roles for research assistant and stuff like that. So there are a multiplicity of opportunities around research, do not worry. But within the IDS, outside the IDS, in the communities, the university community, and outside the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. That's a great point added there as well. Just to say, the university in general does employ a lot of our own current students in various different part-time work as well. So if you want to get a different side of experience, we have that. And that brings me neatly to say that many of our students from IDS are actually employed by the university to give you a chance to speak to them on telephone or on Zoom as well. And we have an upcoming session in May with our current students as well. So if anyone would like to speak to some of our current IDS students to get their perspective, you can book a session. I'm going to put the link in the chat box for everybody. For those of you watching back, if you want to just Google speak to an international student, Sussex, or speak to an international student, IDS, it'll come up with a web page where you can see the dates and you can book with various IDS and other development students at Sussex as well. I think that brings us neatly up to the end, but I think actually, sorry, just bear me one more second. We've got one more question from Nikki, and this looks like a really good one. What comments and advice would you have for those entering the field of development at the time when the impact of the large cuts to federal funding and DEI initiatives are being felt worldwide, and where many in the field who already experienced and qualified are facing job losses and uncertainty? What career prospects would a fresh graduate would have in this time? What practical suggestions would you have? So yeah, a very pertinent question, given the timing and everything going on at the moment. So perhaps we could have a quick answer from everyone who's joining us on the alumni in terms of their perspective on this side. So Anasa, I'll start with you if you're seeing any sort of changes or any advice given the recent sort of changes we've seen.
Okay, for me, like the government of Indonesia is also doing a budget cut for this year. As a policy analyst, I think we feel like there are not much we can do. I think it's also similar what Nikki has asked, but for me personally, of course, changes is always uncomfortable and always like we need to always adapt to changes. Now, what I do and what all of my colleagues do is do what we can do really. We maximize on like our research that doesn't require a lot of budget from the government. It can be done like individually or through group with our supervisors. But yeah, I think for uh, and we also do like a lot of paid like work usually. Yeah, I think we have to adapt to changes.
Yeah, adapt to changes. Okay, thank you, Anasa. And Shutaja, any views from your perspective in India based within your organization?
Right. No, I think definitely the current political climate and the given the current situations and changes in situations that we're seeing around the world, it is definitely a daunting world. But given that, it's quite also warming to know that people around are really trying to do good work. And if you have the passion for it, I think there's nothing that can stop you. um, Given that and said that, I understand that it can also be overwhelming as a freshly graduate. And I think in that point from that point of time from that point of view, sorry, what you can do is that perhaps take up part-time roles, research roles that we've been talking about. And I think any role that you take part-time would also at the end of the day help you and enable you to secure the job that you're looking out for. So part-time jobs do really help. And being in the UK and at IDS and Sussex that we've been discussing, they have a plethora of jobs that you can apply for and look at, and constantly be in touch with people from the development sector as well. Because this is not something that we're experiencing in isolation. Definitely, funds and budget cuts are being experienced everywhere by different organizations. Even when you're requiring fundings for different things. People are really taking you under the microscope of how you're using the budgets at the minute. But with that said, if you come at IDS and interacting with people from the sector as well, helps you helps you have those series of collaborators with you. And you know that you're not experiencing all of this in isolation, and you have a community built for yourself. So yeah.
Thanks, Shutaja. Really good tips there. And moving to Faith as well, for any perspective from yourself? Hi, Faith. Sorry, not yeah. Oh, we're back.
Yeah, so are you talking about the job?
Well, this is the in terms of questions, in terms of the current environment, in terms of aid, in terms of funding, in terms of the cuts that we're seeing at the moment, but it might be more difficult in terms of a career in development. So if there's anything from your perspective that you've seen from maybe say Amnesty being based in Nigeria, anything you could share with us from that side of things?
Um, yeah, I know globally there is a political shift and it's affecting so many things. I do not want to mention the ways in which it had affected me too, you know. I don't want to mention that because I've got some friends from Nigeria who are interested in this course and they're here, they're listening. I don't want them to see. So, but yeah, there are many opportunities for funding to support your aspirations, even though it's quite a challenging time. First of all, if you are aspiring to come to the University of Sussex, you should watch out. There is the Dean Scholarship. You could apply to get some discounts, like a £4,000, which is quite a lot, can be helpful. And then there are other sports related support and stuff like that. And generally, if you go online and check for external support, find the Commonwealth Masters, the Commonwealth Shared. You could find the Erasmus Mundus to support you. You could also find like the Chevening. If you need support for your applications, you could reach out to me. I could offer guide and support, to help you scale through. To help you scale through, you are going to put in the work. But generally, I know there is a political shift and it has quite affected lots of people. So you can only just do your best.
Yeah, great advice. Thank you, Faith. And last but not least, Teofilo, anything from your side and what you're seeing?
Yes, I mean, it's daunting and frightening times for all. Certainly, the job market in the development sector is a bit tight right now, to say the least. But I think that there are a lot of opportunities out there for people who are searching, and in my experience, I could benefit from some also while studying with scholarship, and after with some participation in programs. I would suggest building connections while you study at IDS. That's one way to, getting more access to different opportunities. And also, I would say that getting different types of support as we serve these times of uncertainty. Well, IDS has a lot of resources like the mentoring scheme. That is something that really helps. And as a couple of my colleagues said, I think that we need to hold tight and keep pushing. And there are a lot of opportunities out there that still exist. And yeah, I think that we need to overcome what's the current political situation.
Thank you, Teofilo. And I think, yes, some encouraging and positive thoughts there in terms of not giving up and pushing through, and the opportunities still available to make change and positive change at that. So thank you very much again for all of you for joining us today, especially our alumni guest stars and Mariam as well. It's been a really interesting session for all of us, I think. And thank you everybody who's joined live as well. Just a reminder, we have a sample lecture at 1 o'clock UK time, and then 2 o'clock I'll be back here with current students as well, so I hope you can join us there. So thanks everybody, and enjoy your rest of the day wherever you are. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. If anybody has
Thanks.
any doubts, they can
everyone.
also reach out on LinkedIn, just in case.
Thank you, Shotajaya.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.